Hey, I'm Nichole from KVRX in Austin, and I'm lucky enough to be here with John Darnielle.
Hey, how's it going, KVRX?
I put the pedal to the...
So, if you had to tell the story of the Mountain Goats, or of John Darnielle and his many different forms, would it be a pop-up book or a graphic novel?
Well, it'd be a graphic novel because I read so many comic books when I was a kid, is the thing. It's like I read pop-up books, but I didn't think they were... Pop-up books kind of annoyed me because they break. You know, it's like you get really into them, and then they're toast, right? Whereas graphic novels, I don't know, I'm friends with Matt Fraction, the guy who does Iron Man and Casanova and stuff like that, and so yeah, that would be cool. So plus, nobody ever has like really any difficulty like making weight in graphic novels. Everybody looks pretty cut, and so I'll take that.
If I were an artist, I would be trying to avoid my own press. Do you ever read your own press about you, about your reviews and stuff like that?
We have been joking about this in the van because the thing is, there is an eternal conflict between, you really shouldn't read your own press. You shouldn't, right? You shouldn't read it if it's good or bad, because if you believe the good stuff, you're gonna believe the bad stuff. And especially if you do what I do, people either really like it a lot or they can't stand it, right? The people who dislike my stuff, they hate it, and that's fine, you know, it's like whatever works, but then the people who love it throw, you know, really superlative words around, and you should be trying not to hear that about yourself. At the same time, writing and performing is an egocentric exercise, right? And you get better at what you do when you believe you're good at it.
Video games in a trunk.
So, if you could be any animal, what would you be?
It's hard because, you know, it's hard to say. I mean, a cow, probably, just because I love cows so much. But how happy are animals? You know, it's like, you want to be an animal that people take good care of, right? That goes into it. I mean, if you see the happy pigs at Farm Sanctuary in upstate New York, you want to be one of those pigs, because they get to get as fat as they want, and they're unself-conscious, and they're lying in mud, and it just looks magnificent, you know. And when they eat, if you ever heard well-kept, you know, not hogs who are being raised to be eaten, but pigs who are living just to be living. If you ever heard them get fed, they scream when they eat, right? And it's like the realest thing you ever heard, right? It's like seriously like how you actually feel when you're hungry. The pigs go up to the trough and they go, yeah, I'm gonna eat, woo! It's chow time, you know. And it's like, and they do it at like 6 in the morning. They just start screaming for the food. If you stay at Farm Sanctuary, you go, this is the greatest thing I've ever heard. So actually, I mean, I love cows so much, but I think if I could be one of the Farm Sanctuary pigs who has like escaped that horrible meat industry and just living out their lives up there, that would be me. So yeah.
If you could trade in your tour van or car, or I guess airplane in this case, for Dinosaur, what would it be?
You know, Ankylosaurus, the one with the little club. I love that guy, right? Because you can ride, it's very cowboy-like, and you get dum da dum da dum da dum da dum da dum da, right? Yeah.
Yeah, no explanation actually needed. You could have just said Ankylosaurus, and we would have understood. We'd have this vision of you riding into very Texan.
They're very cowboy, right?
Yeah, they're pretty much the most cowboy thing other than cowboys.
And dancing.
What are you working on lately? What are you jazzed about? Influences and what you're working on.
Well, Caitlin Rose is who I'm listening to these days. I mean, Caitlin Rose is so awesome. And Megafaun, who I was just talking to over there, Megafaun is tearing it up. They did this show, it's a tribute to the American Songbook in Durham. Had a bunch of guests. Justin Vernon showed up and sang a song, which was amazing because people listen to Bon Iver, or Bon Iver, I don't know how you say it, you know, and he sings that gentle, I met you at the blood bank, but he belted. He came out and did like this huge blues belting that I don't think anybody knew he had in him, and it was really amazing to watch. And but Megafaun and Caitlin both, you know, are just there. To me, if you get to play music, this is an honor and a privilege. And if you're not up there going, I hit the lottery, you know, it's like I get to lose my virginity every goddamn night, you know. It's like, that is awesome, you know. And so yeah, I'm inspired by people in whom the love of making music is clear and evident. And so Caitlin and Megafaun, who I'm into right now, yeah.
Cool. And what about your own stuff? What do you tend to be working on these days?
So I am mastering the new album next week, and well, I'm mastering all the new songs next week, and then comes the difficult process of throwing some out. Right? We recorded a bunch of songs. We recorded 19 songs, big fans would be like, well, release them all. Now, you say that now, you get bored when you're in the middle of the 16th song. You'd be like, oh, I wish this was shorter, you know. And I believe in short albums is the thing. It's like I don't want people to feel ripped off, but I think an album, if you give somebody an album that is 35, 40 minutes of solid, good jams, that's the best thing, right? I mean, I'm a rap fan, and when rap albums went to 72 minutes, I missed the days of the quality 10 bangers and Get Out, you know. And so I mean, a lot of people think that that's a bourgeois complaint, you know, but anyway, but I like a short record. I like 35 to 45 minutes max, and I have to make a record that I would believe in, so I tend to go to 12 to 14 songs. I did 19 songs when my songs were 2 minutes apiece, but these are longer and more ornate. So yeah, mastering all those next week, and then I'll start to comb through them and figure out what survives and what doesn't survive, and you know, and the album cover art's coming together, and really excited about it. I think they're the best songs we've ever written, and I'm really super excited about it.